Welcome to this week's edition of Tiger Talk. My name is Will Kollmeyer. I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Community Relations at one of the nation's elite community colleges, Northeast Mississippi Community College. We're in our third week of face-to-face classes. Don't forget, it's not too late to sign up for online classes, and that online education here at Northeast, #1 in Mississippi among all higher ed institutions. So that's universities, colleges, any of the 15 community colleges. We're #1, and we're #2 nationally among all community colleges. So those online classes are set to start on Monday, August 24th. So you can still register, apply today at NEMCC.edu. Let's bring in our president, Dr. Ricky Ford. This is the 20th straight week that Dr. Ford has joined us here on Tiger Talk to keep us updated on the latest on what's happening here at Northeast. President Ford, as always, appreciate your time.
Again, thank you, Will, for another opportunity to address all of our employees here at Northeast and anyone else in the community who might want to listen. But thank you so much for all you do for Northeast and getting the Northeast story out there. So I want to say thank you to Will Kollmeyer, Tony Finch, and all the public relations people for the great job that they have done getting the information out to everyone. Well, we finished up our second week of classes. And a lot of things have happened, but nothing that we did not anticipate happening. So we were prepared for everything that took place, and we attacked it very aggressively. I do want to say that the number of students and people that were on quarantine has been reduced drastically, and we kind of figured that would happen. We knew that was going to happen. There will be more that are scheduled to rotate off quarantine this week. So it is positive proof that the protocols and the criteria and everything that we have in place is working. It is doing the job it's supposed to do, and that was to isolate people that were potential carriers and then protect the students that were around them. I do have to say that Northeast has a criteria in place that probably is a little bit more strenuous, a little bit more safety cautious and safety minded than any other institution or any other agency might have in place. We have identified students that were contagious. We have removed them from the classroom. We have removed all the students that were in the classroom, and we sent them into quarantine to protect them and to protect possibly anyone that they may come in contact with. And that's the purpose of the entire situation. So the protocols that we have in place are working. The number of cases are being diminished, and hopefully we will reach a point where we have very, very little or if any cases or quarantine people at all. So we're moving forward with what we have in place because we know it is successful. I'm a little bit disappointed in the local news media and the way that they portrayed the number of people that we had quarantined last week, because it kind of portrayed us as a breeding ground for the coronavirus, and this is not true at all. And as I said, I'm very disappointed in the local media, and the writer of that article showed that there was very little thought that went into it and very little loyalty that went into it also. So we must promote things that are positive out there in the news also, and not make everything negative. So in saying all, we'll say a lot more about that. I think we all know the situation there, so we must continue to move forward, and we will do that. It's very important moving forward that we continue to educate our student body and the public on a lot of things on how to combat the virus and still maintain our day-to-day activities. I think it needs to be understood that, everyone, everywhere, there is a way to have all normal activities and still combat the COVID-19 virus. As I've said this before, and I will be very emphatic about it, one, wear the mask. But here's the key to that. Wear the mask correctly. I see students, I see people out in the public, and they have a mask on their face. They may have it covering their chin. They may have it covering their mouth. Very few people do I see wearing the mask correctly, and that is having the mask cover your nose and your mouth both. If you're not wearing it correctly, you are endangering yourself. and you are endangering the people around you if you happen to have the symptoms, or if anyone happens to have the symptoms. So I think we need to hold each other to a higher standard as far as wearing the mask. It's very important that we do it, and we do it correctly. And then the second thing is distance ourselves from people. We don't have to be right up in each other's face to communicate and to talk and things like that. This is a habit that we have created over the years. We just like to physically hug, touch, things like that. We've got to be very careful about doing things like that. We've got to distance ourselves in crowded places. We've got to avoid crowded places altogether sometimes if you feel uncomfortable about it. And if you must be in a crowded situation, wear a mask. And then number 3, wash your hands frequently. So if we'll do all those 3 things and we'll do them all correctly, then we will lead a normal life, and we can pretty much go out and have normal activities the way that we want to have them. There's a lot of talk and a lot of comment about athletic teams participating. Being on our football team probably is about the safest place that you can possibly be, because those students' temperature is checked twice daily, before they eat breakfast in the morning, and then also before they come into practice, it is also checked. So students that are coming into that type of situation with football practice and football games are definitely checked, and that's probably the safest place that you can be. And I can probably say that for all the other athletic teams and football teams that will be playing. The problem comes with not adhering to the 3 things I just talked about earlier within the crowd, within the fan base, and things like that. So we can have normal activities if we adhere to the guidelines. It's that simple. So let's educate our students. Let's keep being a little bit more forefront with them and letting them know, hey, you've got your mask on incorrectly, and you're putting yourself at risk, and you're also putting the people around you at risk also. So let's do that very professionally and with all the best intentions available. So let's continue on, and we'll be able to enjoy more normalcy than people would think. I do want to mention that the Mississippi Association of Community and Junior Colleges as a statewide had a rebranding kickoff this week, and the MACCJC is no longer considered MACCJC, Mississippi Association of Community and Junior Colleges. There are not any more junior colleges located within the state of Mississippi. They're all community colleges or colleges. So we are now known as MACC, Mississippi Association of Community Colleges. The athletic branding part was also initiated and kicked off this week too. It's called the MACCC, Mississippi Association of Community Colleges Conference. So you'll see those changes, and you'll see a lot more about that. Also, sticking on the topic of athletics, football is scheduled to kick off on October the 1st with our first fall football game for the community colleges. So we have a 6-game schedule. So we're excited about the football season being kicked off, and the football team is practicing now and have been practicing for a couple of weeks, but they're in full swing now and about ready to get into working out with pads and those type things. So we're excited about our football season. We're excited about other activities that are going to take place on campus. Our SACS reaccreditation visit is coming up the latter part of September the 29th through October the 1st. So the SACS team will be here visiting our campus and examining the things that we do to make sure that we actually do what we say that we do. So they will be here virtually this year. It'll be the first time ever that will ever be a virtual accreditation visit, but we're very well prepared for that. I want to thank Dr. Sasser for leading that effort with being our SACS liaison. And I also want to thank Dr. Baragona, Amber Nims, Lexi Fields for their work in the SACS report being turned in. And I also want to say thank you to Robbie Coleman and Michael Bird for their work on our QEP. It is probably one of the best written QEPs that I have seen in a while, but it's something that I'm encouraged about, and I'm looking forward to implementing it all the way to advising our students and helping them move forward with everything that they are doing. So we are continuing on with our CARES Act funding that we've received as far as our career tech and workforce. We're spending a lot of money there on equipment, on-the-job training for students and things like that, and also people looking for jobs. So we're utilizing those funds, and we will continue to move forward with that. So in saying everything that I've said here, we want to wish everybody a good year, and we'll continue moving forward. And certainly my office is open at any time for any questions, any comments, any advice, or anything that would help us. We're open to that. So as always, go Tigers, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ford, and yes, go Tigers. A couple friendly reminders before we wrap up this week's show. Don't forget, students and employees, to fill out your screening form every morning before you come to campus. That'll keep Northeast a very safe environment from COVID-19. We talk about our face-to-face classes, our online classes that will start on Monday, but we also offer continuing education classes. Whether you're interested in professional development, short-term employment training, starting a new hobby, maybe having fun learning with friends, or even looking to learn something new, Northeast Mississippi Community College has a continuing education course for you. Upcoming classes include ACT Prep Workshop later this month. Our new commercial truck driving class will start on September 1st. September 8th is the new starting date for our dental assisting program. Our CNA programs, Boonville, Corinth, and Ripley, will all start on September 8th. And we've got a cake decorating class 2, creating flowers and borders. It's a virtual class that will go between September 8th and September 29th. For more information, contact Phyllis Colson at 662-720-7296. And with that, we will put a bow on this week's show. Thank you, Michael Miller, for all you do each week to get us on the air. So for our president, Dr. Ricky Ford, I'm Will Kollmeyer saying thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next week right here on Tiger Talk.